What was it your little one said that left you speechless? My husband Ben and I had been fighting a lot. The kind of fighting where you're not really fighting about the dishes or who forgot to pick up milk, but about everything underneath that you're too stubborn to actually say out loud. We'd been snapping at each other for weeks, rolling our eyes, doing that thing where you pretend everything's fine in front of the kids, but you can barely look at each other. Finally, we decided to take a break. Not separated, just space. Ben moved into our guest room down the hall. We told ourselves it was temporary, just until we figured things out. The kids seemed fine with it. Our 4-year-old Tommy didn't really notice, and Chloe just shrugged when we explained Daddy would be sleeping in the other room for a while. For about 2 weeks, everything felt normal. Ben would still eat dinner with us, help with homework, do bedtime stories. We were polite to each other like roommates who got along okay. I thought we were handling it pretty well, actually. The kids were happy, no one was yelling, everyone was getting along. Then one Thursday night, we were eating spaghetti and meatballs when Chloe suddenly put her fork down and tilted her head at me. She does this thing where she gets really serious and her eyebrows scrunched together like she's thinking hard about something important. "Mom," she said, looking between Ben and me, "did Daddy do something bad?" I almost dropped my fork. "What do you mean, honey? Is that why he's in the punishment room?" Ben stopped chewing and stared at her. The punishment room. That's what she called the guest room because that's where we'd send her when she had tantrums as a toddler to calm down. "Daddy's not being punished," I said, trying to keep my voice normal. "He's just sleeping there for now." But Chloe kept going. "Because if he was bad, I think you should forgive him. That's what you tell me when I fight with Tommy. You say we have to forgive each other because we're family." The comment hit me like a truck. Here was my 7-year-old repeating back all the stuff we'd taught her about forgiveness and family, trying to fix our marriage with the same rules we used for sibling squabbles over toys. That night after the kids went to bed, I knocked on Ben's door. "Did Chloe say anything to you?" He opened the door wider so I could see his nightstand. There was a drawing she'd slipped under his door earlier. It was our family holding hands in front of our house, but Ben was drawn way off to the side with a big sad face and tears coming down his cheeks. "She asked me yesterday if I missed sleeping in my real bed," he said quietly. I didn't know what to say. Over the next few days, we started noticing other things. Chloe began asking weird questions like, "If I get better grades, will Daddy move back?" And, "Do you and Daddy still love each other, or are you gonna get divorced like Katie's parents?" The breaking point came when I was tucking her in one night and she grabbed my hand really tight. "Mom, I'm sorry I was bad. Is that why you and Daddy are fighting?" I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. "Baby, you weren't bad." "Why would you think that?" "Because grown-ups only fight when kids are bad. And now Daddy lives in the punishment room and you guys don't talk anymore." She started crying, these quiet little tears that made me want to cry too. I realized she'd been carrying around all this guilt, thinking our problems were somehow her fault. I found Ben in the kitchen making his lunch for work the next day. "We need to talk to her," I said. "She thinks she caused this." We sat Chloe down the next evening and tried to explain in kid words that grown-ups sometimes have problems they need to work on. And it had nothing to do with her or Tommy. That we weren't mad at her, we weren't getting divorced, and she didn't do anything wrong. "But why can't you just say sorry like I have to do?" she asked. "When I'm mean to Tommy, I have to say sorry and give him a hug. Out of the mouths of babes, right?" That night, after we put the kids to bed, Ben and I ended up talking in the living room until almost 2 in the morning. Really talking, for the first time in months. Not about logistics or schedules or who was picking up what from where, but about the actual stuff we'd been fighting about. The money stress, the feeling like we were more like roommates than partners, the way we'd stopped really seeing each other. It didn't magically fix everything. We still had to work through a lot of stuff, but a week later, Ben moved back into our bedroom. And when Chloe saw his pillow back on his side of the bed, she grinned so big and said, "Good job saying sorry to each other."